Hello everyone. I know that this isn't the expected type of video that you see here in the channel. I usually do bass covers, but I also like mixing and editing and DAWs and synths and things like that. And recently I discovered something called the drummer track in the Logic Pro X DAW, and I would like to show you how it works in this video because it is very instrumental for creating music without a drummer. Let me share my screen and show you how it can be configured. So when you create a new track in Logic Pro, it will ask you if you want to use a software instrument track, an audio track, a drummer track, which is what we are going to explore, external MIDI, guitar, and bass. We are going to choose the drummer track. And whenever we choose the drummer track, if we click in this drop down here, we have the option of selecting between rock, alternative, songwriter, rock and blues, electronic, hip hop, and percussion. Let's start with rock and create a drummer track. When we do that, it creates in our timeline. I'm more used with Final Cut Pro, so I'm going to call this a timeline. It creates that segment and of a track, right? What I'm going to do here is get the loop and put the loop just for that specific part and zoom in a little bit. So we have this track here. Once we click twice in the tracks region, this lower pane here will appear. And this lower pane is where you can configure how you want the drums to be played. In the sense of if you want it louder, if you want it softer, if you want it more complex or more simple, right? Once you click here, you can specify which types of drum parts you want. So for example, you want just cymbals and you want lots of cymbals. So you can just do this. I'm gonna play the track and do adjustments here on the fly before talking about the drummer and the genres and the more detailed adjustments you can do here. So let me play it for you. Right? So you can see that there's only cymbals here. Now, I'm going to add percussion as well, and I am going to add, actually I'm going to add claps as a percussion, and I am going to add the full set, like click and snare and toms. And I want that to be not so loud, but a little bit more simple. So I'm gonna move the spectrum here to a little bit to the simple and not so loud, like in the middle. Let me play it. You can see I have the toms and I have the kick and snare and I have claps. If I want more claps, I have more claps. Now here's one interesting thing that will make you look like Ringo Starr. Let me disable the percussion, let me disable that, and let me leave just the toms, and let me increase to 3, meaning I want lots of toms on it. I'm gonna play, and I am going to mess with this parameter here called swing, and you're gonna see what happened. Adding some swing. Isn't that fantastic? 16th. At the very end, let me zoom in. At the very end, you can see it's different, right? And it's different because it prepares you for the next segment of the loop. So once I have this track properly configured, I can get this and I can have 2 of it. And that little part here at the intersection, look how pleasant it looks, it sounds. So it stitches the loop for you. Let me increase this. Let me get rid of the second segment here and keep our loop to the first bars. And what I'm going to do here is just mess with these fills. Once I put more fills, you can see that it will have more, guess what? Fills. Let me actually put the complete set with this as the percussion, toms, and kick and snare following. I don't know what that option does, and let me play it. Ghost notes. You can put ghost notes, look at that. And the hi-hat, if it's open or closed. So you can mess around while it plays. And if you enable automation by pressing the letter A in your keyboard, you can change those on the fly while recording, right? So if you put this to touch, right, probably you can change those things while it's playing. So the drummer, you really conduct what the drummer is doing. I'm going to remove the automation here just to show you a simple example, and I am going to play with the presets here on the side. So these presets are just pre-configuration of the other parameters that we have here. So once you choose Crash the Party, for example, it moves to a louder and more complex with toms and kick and snare. Let me give it a play, and within the track I am going to change to other presets as well. Now, this is Kyle, as you can see here. This is Kyle. And Kyle, if you mouse over, Kyle is influenced by modern rock, but comfortable with most genres. He plays, or she plays, I don't know if it's a woman, she plays straightforward rock beats on a natural, versatile kit. We can also change for Ian, for example. Let me put this to not change again, to not ask me again. And if we play, you're gonna see like there is a different drummer. So Ian is a different drummer, and we can change drummers, so it changes basically the play style. Now you can also do percussion. Latin percussion. Look at that. And you can click and choose. Like if I just want the triangle, the cowbell. Triangle, claves, and cowbell. Look at that. Louder. There is a preset here that says Little Havana. And needless to say, you can have all the other logic effects like compressor, EQ, delay, and things like that. So I can put a regular logic delay here. Or I can do compressor if I want, right? Now I have a compressed track. And it's interesting when you use the automations. So this feature is completely adorable in the new Logic Pro, and it's MIDI under the hood, right? So if you choose, for example, electronic, tech house, look at that. Chorus. So it's a fabulous new feature that will be the future. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I personally made this video to show this feature for some friends, especially a friend that is a drummer that he's always saying that he will send me drum tracks and he does not. So keep an eye open, drummer. You're gonna be replaced by the machine. It's the future, man.